Hey guys, welcome to Mitch's Vinyl Corner and thanks for stopping by. So some more Black Sabbath for you today. So we're going to talk about my comparison between the new Rhino High Fidelity and my 1973 WWA UK cut. So starting with the Rhino High Fidelity, as I said in the last video, this Rhino Hi-Fi stuff is first class. Really good sturdy jacket. You got the Obi here, talking about all of the details of it. I don't know if this is a Stoughton tip-on jacket, but it definitely feels like it. It's very well made. Really thick and heavy, really durable. You got the insert here showing the front and back of the original master tapes. Again, these are the Warner master tapes, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Got the liner notes and everything. Some interviews, some old, I think those look like concert maybe flyers or something. Again, with these Rhino Hi-Fi titles, they're really first class. I mean, they pull out all the stops. I mean, for $40, pretty much get them all analog from the original master tapes by Kevin Graves. Definitely one of the best mastering engineers in the world. Get on high quality vinyl, pressed at optimal, one of the best pressing plants in the world in Germany. So here it is with the Obi. So a little bit about Paranoid. So Paranoid was originally released in the UK in September of 1970, and then it got a US release in February of 1971. So it originally came out on the Vertigo label in the UK, and then it was made into, a copy tape was made and sent to Warner Brothers here in the United States. So the Warner master tape, again, is a generation removed. So there's always been that debate between the Warner Brothers original and the Vertigo original. So this 1973 WWA cut is pretty much a bargain for anybody really wanting to get close enough to the original Vertigo Black Sabbath titles. Because original Vertigo titles, especially for Paranoid, they definitely go for at least a couple $100, like I was saying last week. For my other shootout between Black Sabbath's debut album, the original Vertigos go for a ton and a ton of money, especially in good shape. But the thing about the WWA versions is that starting in 1973 and through 1976, they were pressed on this label, but it uses the exact same metalwork, the exact same metal plates that were used to press the original Vertigo titles. So essentially, you're getting the Vertigo cut, essentially, just on a different label a couple years later. So sound quality is pretty much similar. A lot of people say that, but again, I don't have an original Vertigo of this, so I can't compare the two. However, a lot of people swear by the WWA versions because they are a little bit cheaper, but again, use the same metal plates. So it's pretty much of a bargain. So when I did this shootout yesterday, I got this copy in the mail yesterday. I started with the Rhino High Fidelity, went through all of side A, and then I went to the WWA side A, and then the same for side B, went back to the Rhino, and then I went back to the WWA version. What stuck out to me from the Rhino High Fidelity version is how crisp and clear everything was. Kind of like what I said in last week's video about Black Sabbath's debut album. However, this time, it did not feel as polished. It felt just right. So the instrument separation was fantastic. All of the instruments were up front and present, so it didn't feel like anything was pushed back. Ozzy's voice was crisp and clear. Tony's guitar and the drums were just right there in front of you. A really good sound stage. Kind of felt like they were right here in the room with me. But again, not too polished, which is a really good sign. So I moved to the WWA version. I will probably get a lot of flack for saying this, but this was a big disappointment. I first listened to this when I first got it. A couple months ago, I got it from the UK. I put it on, and I had no other Paranoid album to compare it to, or version to compare it to. So I thought that it sounded really, really good. I thought it did. You know, my system, my ears, thought it sounded great. But when comparing it to the Rhino High Fidelity, there's no comparison. Everything on the WWA pressing was very muffled and compressed. Just Ozzy's voice, the guitar were very, very compressed and they were very muffled. But the drums were actually pretty good. So it really had that good bottom end, but everything else about it was just really muffled. So it was pretty easy from the get-go to lean more towards the Rhino High Fidelity. So that's pretty much it. The Rhino High Fidelity beats the WWA version. However, I don't have an original Vertigo to compare it to. So, again, it uses the same metal plates, but something could have happened to when they were pressed. Maybe there was a defect. I don't know, especially maybe for the run that I got of this album. Something that just was off on it. And the record is in pretty good shape. I'd say it's a strong VG plus, and I both ultrasonically cleaned these records in my hummingbird room. And yeah, the WWA was just a real disappointment. I'm sorry to say it. A complete 180 from what I said last week, that I preferred the UK Vertigo over the new Rhino High Fi. So I will say, if you don't have a version of this album at all on vinyl, I would say go directly for the Rhino High Fidelity. When they first came out, they were only numbered to 5,000, but now they're back in print, unnumbered. They're available. I say go get it. It's $40, high quality, all analog, regardless if it's cut from the Warner Brothers tapes, which is a generation removed from the original Vertigos. I think it definitely sounds better. I wouldn't waste time trying to find an original Warner Brothers. And that's just me. I don't have an original Warner Brothers either, but since this is in print, I would say go get it. It's $40 because clean Warner Brothers originals are getting harder to find and they're going to be more expensive. You can typically get beat up to like VG, maybe plus copies for like $40 to $60 here in the States, at least in my experience from what I've seen. That's typically what they run. If you get cleaner kinds, like especially white label promos, they're going to be a lot more, at least a couple $100. Now there was a lot of hype around the WWA versions. Now I can't say any of the other Black Sabbath albums if the WWA versions sound good. I don't have any of those, so I can't say. But if you want to go get a UK, I would probably say go seek out a UK original. If you're willing to spend the money and the time to go find a clean one, they're going to run at least a couple $100. If you're kind of a collector like I am in a way, probably go that route and try to get an original Vertigo. But for this one in particular, I can't say the WWA version is a good choice, and that's just me. If you feel different, or if you had different experiences with the WWA pressings of Paranoid, please leave it in the comments. So I also wanted to take some time to give a shout out to my friend Louis V over at Vinyl Latte. He just celebrated, I believe, 13,000 subscribers and 3.5 million views on his channel. That is a great accomplishment, a good milestone, and shout out to you, Louis V. Congratulations and on your continued success. And I keep looking forward to your content, man. If you don't subscribe to his channel, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. So that pretty much settles this debate for this week. But stay tuned. Next week, I'm going to be getting a new piece of hi-fi gear to add to my system. I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review of that, so stay tuned. But that's it for now. So thank you all for stopping by. I'll see y'all next time.